Checking my mic levels. Live on stream. Probably a no now. Hello, everyone. Like the stream 5x5. Else. We are getting back into this build. A little bit has gone on since my last stream. Not a ton of progress in terms of what I've done. My goal is to kind of have everything in the build actually be on the stream, but I did a lot of squaring and tramming of the axis. We got pretty much this whole thing built last stream. But I noticed that it was a little bit more constrained. I wouldn't say it was binding. I was still able to push it really, really well. But what it turned out was kind of fitting this centerpiece. Fitting this little centerpiece here and screwing down into the actual the rail carriages just over constrained things to the point where it wouldn't kind of fall like this by itself. And I don't think that this is like actually necessary in terms of having a good Z-axis. As long as there's no binding and everything feels smooth, it should be pretty good. But I've noticed a lot of other folks try to get their bed trimmed such that it can fall under its own weight. So I kind of went ahead and I actually took a small file and I filed out the holes that rails screw into, or these screw the bed to the rail, and I filed out these holes. What I noticed is that when I was pushing the screws through, there was like zero wiggle room in order for these screws to pass through. So really what you want what I assumed you want is that when you screw these down, they kind of self-align themselves. But if it's too constrained by the actual bed frame, which I found it to be, then there's no self-aligning. It's just gonna kind of squeeze on the rails to the point where you don't get a smooth motion. So I liked the thought of having a little bit of wiggle room. Oh, you guys shouldn't be seeing my desktop there. Yeah, I liked the thought of having a little bit of wiggle room. So yeah, that was my goal, and it seems to have worked out. So what we have is our Z-axis done with the Kirigami bed. This is kind of like the stock Kirigami bed mod with some LDO kind of add-ons. LDO does sell a wiring kit, or at least you can buy them from like Fabrico and maybe West 3D and a couple other companies. But yeah, so we've got their Wagos and Wago mounts. We've got their breakout for their LED, and we've got their little LED board inside of there. So it's a little bit enhanced. You don't get any of the printed parts or the Wagos from Formbot. It's a pretty bare bones frame in terms of that, but yeah. Has anybody popped into the chat yet? No. We've got 2 viewers. Let me know how the sound quality is and how music levels are. I don't want them too loud, but hopefully you guys can hear it. So today we're going to kind of move into the move forward with getting the frame put together. So I think that this is the step that we're on currently. If I'm not mistaken, just oh no, we're on this step. We need to get our Z endstop micro switch. So yeah, that's the plan. These things go fairly smooth with that. Hey Bob. Bob, I think I recognize you from Better's stream. 3D Print SOS. Welcome. Thanks for hopping in, checking out the stream. We are putting together this Formbot V0.2 kit. A little bit more of a budget kit, but from what I can tell, it's got everything you need. The main thing I'm noticing is that it's lacking in documentation, as in there is no documentation. You've got the Voron documentation, you've got the documentation for the Kirigami Bed, and you've got the documentation for the Voron V0 Umbilical. And other than that, it's up to you. So I'm actually finding I'm using the LDO documentation a fair bit, and using a couple select LDO mods, like the so this bed frame for Kirigami came with the Formbot kit, but I went ahead and got a wiring kit from LDO so that I can kind of do a little bit better job wiring. So that's kind of one of the only things that's going to be not stock on the build so far. So we need to get our Z endstop, which I think is here. Go bag. Overhead cam. So this is kind of nice. They've got it already pre-wired for you. So pretty good, job there. I can't see the soldering joint or anything like that, but it's got heat shrink on it. They've already taken the lever off of the endstop for us. So that seems, pretty nice. These are silicone wires. I don't think they're FEP, but I don't think these need to go to the drag chain at all. So that seems to be fine. But I think this guy's going to get mounted kind of like somewhere over here, and then the bed carriage is going to come down, click it, and we need this little 3D printed piece. So let's get into it. How are you doing tonight, Bob? I feel like in some of our discussions, you built a fair bit of printers, like printer kits, or at least you seem like you're pretty experienced with kind of nice printer kits. We need 2 self-tapping screws. Set aside up here. Then you guys need to be able to see the instructions. Let me add that. LDO 2.4 Rev C kit. Is Rev C the latest, or? I know LDO is pretty good about their revision such up to date. And I mean, I think it's a pretty good testament to how good their documentation is, the fact that I'm building a different kit and using their documentation and a couple of their select parts. Okay, so latest revision. I actually just saw that there's a PR for a V0.2 Rev 1, and I took a quick peek at it. That might actually be interesting to take a quick look at, actually. So, if you go Voron V0, we're on the branch V0.2, but there's a pull request. And it looks like it would be the V0.2 R1. It's the issue where there's 34mm C motors don't actually fit the machine, increasing the height of the skirt feet by 2mm. That's it. He added a simple filament runout sensor to the rear right foot. Okay, so I guess the spool's going to be on the back. It'll spool through that foot, or run through that foot, and then have a runout. So it won't be like a smart runout sensor. Mini self-burner cowling part ducts through, so possibly better cooling. Cam locks, I have heard a lot about the cam locks not being all that great. Change out to a simple hex design. The endstop mount beefed up a bit, minute sagging. So I'm just about to put on this endstop mount. Maybe I'll try to get that printed out and replace it if it's not too constructive. An issue with the guider being able to pivot in an undesired direction was addressed. The relevant open manual issue addressed. So the way I noticed this was that one of the issues I had filed was this guy. I noticed that CAD file was missing some nuts. So I went ahead and filed an issue and they got flowed in, so. But yeah, so maybe I'll see if I can fold some of these changes into, you know, kind of what I'm working on. Interesting when you're in the middle of a build and there's a update to the project, and it makes you have to make some decisions that maybe you weren't ready for. But back to that PR, they have the STLs kind of like STL. So display mount, electronic, rail, din mount, multi-body STLs, self-burner cowling, skirts. Oh, they deleted a lot of files. So I'm gonna have to take a much deeper look at this and see. They might have just reorganized a bunch of stuff, and that's why some of the stuff is like missing and then maybe moved. But I'm gonna have to see what's gonna be worthwhile for me to kind of maybe reprint and actually get folded in. All right, let's keep building. I need. Trying to make sure that you guys can see kind of the best angle for whatever I'm working. So we need to get this oriented like this. The endstop left, I think, and self-tapping. Cool. Screw it in. I think I could just pass those through. And I don't have a Phillips head bit out here. I don't think Phillips head, I think. I did not expect to need a Phillips head. Take these down. Kind of going back. I got a C920, and it I changed the settings around to try to make it look better, and then it resets every time. Kind of frustrating. I did that upside down. It's gonna go like this, right? So it's gonna go like this. There we go. Took me a little while, but figured it out. It's probably in the very next step of the instructions. Prepare the endstop switch solder. We don't have to worry about that. Lever, we don't have to worry about that. Props to Formbot for taking care of that. Then self-tapping screws. Like that. And we need an M3x8 that I already have out. And presumably a nut for that. Do you have any other printers, Bob? I assume Voron was the first printer. As I dropped a screw. And I'll drop it again. You have 4 printers. What printers you got? What you're working with? I've got a little bit more than 4, but I'm almost a little ashamed to say how many. A Cheedy X Maker 3 years ago. Okay, I'm not very familiar with Cheedy printers. I know Better has their new Core XY one, I think. Just slide up here and just press it up and down. From what I hear, they're pretty nice, like enthusiastic company, and people who work with them and showcase their printers or review their printers seem to be pretty happy with them and like to work with them. Flush with the bottom of the rail. Make sure that you hear a click. You hear a click. Oh, not sure if you guys can see that. There's a tiniest little white button and the rail comes down, hits that. I like diversity in this kind of 3D printing space. So now I think we're gonna move on with like a bunch of frames. Need to preload some nuts, of course. Always. Oh, we need to take off the upright. First and foremost. Just unscrewing these blinds. So it's an interesting kind of part of the process was just using these frames or these extrusions just to square up the part of the frame that we're actually working on, and then we remove them and use them elsewhere. Like, where in the process did the Voron team figure out, oh, we can use these frames or these extrusions just for this purpose? I didn't strip that. Second printer was an ANET ET4 Plus, but I've modded it so much now. Yeah, that's how it goes, especially with I think the ANET printers have gotten better. I know when they first came around, they had the ANET A8 that was, you know, somewhat infamous, but then they followed up with a bunch of kind of CR10, you know, Ender 3 style printers that seemed like they were a lot better. My first two printers were a Monoprice Maker Select Plus and then a Tron XY X1, and the Tron XY X1 is absolutely unrecognizable. It doesn't look like the same printer. It was like a $129 kit, so very, very inexpensive. Kind of a good way for a tinkerer to come into the space and learn about stuff, but not good for somebody who wants like a tool. So we need three, I'm gonna orient it just like they have it in the photo. Two nuts on the top, one on back top and back top. Nut carriers are kind of nice. I mean, uh-oh. I just got my frame out of true. Scheiße. I need to make sure that everything is squared up. Everything back down. That was pretty tight. This is kind of my weird little setup. I've got a ruler down here clamped to my countertop piece, and then I use like a 1, 2, 3 block on one side and this little frame on the other side to try to make sure it's nice and square. I retrammed this like 3 or 4 times. I think one of the times I just must not have tightened them all back down enough. Hard work, watch it for hours. So what I've heard is Steve Builds from the Voron team, he says he recommends building a trident as your first Voron, because even though it's got the 3-axis bed, otherwise the kinematics and the frame are fairly straightforward. Then he says the V0 is a nice one, but he doesn't recommend it as got a simple kinematic system with the cantilever bed, but then it's very complex in terms of like having to preload all these nuts and do a whole bunch of other weird stuff. So he tends to recommend the trident first, and then, but a lot of people seem to be going for the 2.4 just because it's got kind of the fanciest kinematics, I think. These nut carriers can be a little finicky to get pushed in. I think it makes sense. I think a lot of people are attracted to the V0 specifically because the price point is the most appropriate or approachable. 2 on the top, 1 on the back. Top. So it's like you see how cool these printers are, and you're like, I want to get one, but it's hard to justify like a $1,500 2.4 build or a similarly priced Trident. 2 in the bottom, back. This little blind screw head is causing pretty difficult to get this area. 1, 2, was it? So I actually have an LDO V0 kit from MatterHackers that I'm going to be building next. I'll be able to compare this V0 kit, which is kind of a more budget-oriented kit, to the LDO kit, which is by all means arguably the best kit. And I just like that there's options for people who want to spend different amounts of money. I think we're all preloaded on this page. You load 2 on the bottom, and if you have 5-volt power, you need additional nuts. I don't think you need to have a 5-volt issue. Have like a little pigtail power breakout for the Pi. You just need 2 in this bottom. The bottom of the bottom. One. So if anybody's gonna print out these nut carriers, I definitely recommend you turn down your extrusion multiplier a bit, because if they turn out a little bit fat, then they're going to be very hard to get in. How many printers do I have? I say as I turn around. I do have a workshop tour on my channel that I uploaded like a month ago, and I kind of go into more detail, but it didn't even show all the printers. So to my side right here, I've got 2 Creality CR10s. They're pretty heavily modded with like Noctua fans and the metal extruder, dual gear extruders. I've got a CR10 that's pretty heavily modded. It's running TH3 3D firmware. All of these have Creality silent boards in them. And then it's got a PetSpang cooler, Noctua fan. Out in the garage, I have a Elegoo Mars V1 resin printer, and I have a Prusa Mark III. And then across in the other side room, you can't see right now, I've been modifying a Creality CR10. What are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I have the Tron XY X1 that's not functional right now. The Monoprice 7.8 Monoprice Maker Select Plus, and this will be 9. So yeah, I need to probably get rid of some, to be honest. I don't know, they go on sale, and I'm like, oh, I could use that printer to print out just so. I kind of have some of the printers set up specifically for one thing. Like I got a nice, it's not direct drive, but I got a nice dual gear extruder specifically to print flexible. So I could print like grips and other parts for sim racing gear. And so that one was kind of dedicated for like just that. And then I got one with the all metal Hotend, and I was printing like carbon fiber stuff on it. And then the pandemic hit, and I started printing PPE on pretty much all of my printers. And so I kind of generalized them again, so they're not quite as specialized. But so as I kind of build these, so I think we settled on like 8, maybe. I kind of don't want to be accurate there. I definitely don't want to think about how much money I spent on them. So we've got the 2 preloaded in the bottom. And now we start actually building out the frame. So we need to make sure that we have our M10 button head. I stripped one out when I was doing it, so I paste that. And this is the top, so we need our 2 y-axes go up top, and then our 2 E extrusions, which are our plastic. Keeping track of the extrusions and which ones are which are a little bit of a task. These 2 will go on the bottom with their, where are their holes at? Back here. Here. And this will go up here. And up. And this is the first printer you built for the kit. The Tron XY X1 was the kit. It was the first kit I built. Oh man, that layer makes it really hard to chat. I just noticed. Down a little bit. Yeah, I need to figure that out. How can I make that better? I can change opacity this time. It's a little bit better. Yeah, the Tron XY X1 was a $125 kit. It was just literally a box of parts. It was packaged very similar to this actually, but I give them credit on this one. I think it's more than just like a bomb in a box. But these are going to slide on down here. And I may have to take off the Z limit endstop because it's making it such that I can't really. Where's the bed? This is the first kit I'll say that's like this level of complexity. Definitely. The Tron XY X1 is a very simple i3 style cantilever printer, and it, I don't know, it took like 2 hours to build, maybe 3 hours, but an hour of that was literally peeling all the plastic off of the little acrylic for the acrylic for the little case. Yeah, like you see this rock here. That is because of this endstop, because they have these wires so long. Maybe I can bend them and tuck them aside without destroying the solder joint, and then pass this wire kind of out of the way. Maybe I'll be able to the frame square if I do it that way. Yeah, that's much better. It's actually flat now. So we need these blind poles lined up. Line joints are cool. I haven't done that on any printers yet. First one to do. Would you say you've been bitten by the like higher quality kit build bug? That's the thing after building your or getting your Voron 2.4? I'm just tightening these down enough that they'll stay kind of in place for now. And then we need to do these two, and then the front of these are where the stops are. Screw. Just enough. Stiff for a little bit, turn it over. Doing okay on the general squareness. The LTT screwdriver is really nice, but I think I need to get like a shorter one because it's just generally a bit too long for building printers, I think. Okay. How can we make sure all of these are square? Hey Remix, how's it going? You have a Hodo, but not an LTT. I've been a fan of Linus since like NCIX days, and have met a lot of them at CES, and I kind of held off on it for a little while, and then I realized I wanted a nice kind of ratcheting screwdriver, and actually saw a review from there's a guy who does a bunch of tool reviews, and he's like his channels around like farm stuff, but then he ended up doing like testing different tools against each other, and that seems to be where his page is. I sent you a link to Ender extender page. Okay, yeah, sweet. He actually popped up in my friend's stream the other day. That's why I was asking you about it. So we have these attached. They talk about how to actually get everything nice and square. Doesn't seem like that's a priority for now. I think they just want us to get everything attached. We need to get our M310. I love this little hardware sorting box from Modbot. I think Modbot's first name is Daniel. I feel like I've heard people refer to him as Daniel. The Ender extender is cool. Like I know they've sold so many of that printer, and people end up, you know, kind of tuning the heck out of them, modding the heck out of them, and then they realize that they literally kind of outgrow it and that they want it bigger. Would be blocking that camera. This is just by hand. Okay, yeah, I'll get in contact with them. a little busy with 2 printer builds for now, but when I finish these, I want to build all the printers, basically. I kind of want to build all the things in general, but right now I'm really into cool 3D printing project, or 3D printer project. And M3 screws are about as small as I like to go before they just get too unwieldy. Is he based out of Texas? The Ender Extender? I think I was on the website. Yeah, okay. I need to make sure I don't touch the linear rails too much because they have a little bit of grease on them. And it makes everything a bit sticky after, or a bit I don't know, I've seen 2 trains of thought on the grease. One stating that you want a light coating of grease on kind of the whole rail because it helps prevent rusting. And then I've heard some people say that they don't like any grease on the outside of the rail because it ends up collecting dust and pet hair and dander and all sorts of stuff like that. These are supposedly stainless steel rails according to the Formbot listing. Which, if true, is impressive for a press kit, but they're awfully ferrous for stainless steel. A lot of the stainless steel hardware I get from like Master Car, it's not particularly ferrous. Like a magnet won't stick very well to it, but these magnets them very, very well. Okay. We have 1, 2, 4, 5, 8 screws in. Next step. Need to take H extrusions, which were the ones that we used from before, to align the bed and stick them down the back. Like so. I feel like I'm talking like a... Do you have any cool projects going on, Remix? Any reviews? Yeah, so this is very, very fiddly to get together. We're loosely tightening everything, and if you don't quite loosely tighten it enough, everything gets all sorts out of whack. Hey Renovic, build is going okay. It's going a little bit quicker in this section. I can also zoom out a little bit. That helps you see more. If you ever want me to switch between these kind of zoom levels, let me know if you want to see more detail. Your reuse for like CPU coolers, I'm guessing. I know Computex just happened, so I assume a lot of stuff, like there's a product release cycle happening now, going into summer, and then there'll be another one leading into like CES time. you guys are into PC building, Remix has a review website, and okay, so this is like so not square right now. Iceberg thermal large tower cooler last year, a little behind reviews. Easy to happen. I'm behind on everything. Okay, measure twice. Adjust the frame pieces so that the 37 millimeters. Right, the horizontal members. So we need this measurement 37, and we've got this little guy here that gotta go. I'll message you stuff on the extender. Cool, man. I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping in. So Vector 3D actually designed these so that you can, instead of having to take a pair of calipers, which my calipers are super long, or a ruler and try to hold everything in place, you can just take these and I think I'll do the bottom ones first since I can make sure that these stay square. But you can kind of take this and just hold it up against the extrusion that you need. And you know it's going to be the right length. And I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit easier to do it this way for a precise measurement than trying to get, like, how would you hold a ruler here and make sure everything's like aligned well? In the blind hole. Up. Oh, magnetic bit. I like this little jig. It's pretty helpful. I'm not sure if he's shown it to everybody on the Voron team, but it's a good shout. I'd recommend anybody building a V0 kind of check out a bunch of his mods. Everything together, and then we'll double check with the ruler afterwards, but I measured these after I printed them on the Prusa. They seem to be pretty accurate. We've got a little bit of frame rot here. I'm gonna take my 1-2 plot, press it down on that joint. Loosen it ever slightly. Which I can't because I just stripped out that screw. Dang it. That's frustrating. So we have to figure out a way to get this guy out. Not sure if you can see it, but a little bit of material on the tip of the screwdriver from stripping out the screw. Oh, I've turned it. It's not one of, maybe I have nice square. That's my first significantly stripped out bolt. Alright, that was up. there a way I can just get this guy off? This is interesting. Cattywampers. So I'm just gonna have to kind of reassemble this whole part. Maybe that bit is a little bit too rounded. I want to again get another one out. I'm scaring you and you're fearless. Yeah, things often don't go quite to plan when I'm doing stuff. I try to just roll with the punches. Okay, now how will this actually set up? Rails are there, so this goes. But then it also needs to be inside of that thing. We're just gonna have to undo a bunch. This guy goes here. What do you have going on, Renovate? I saw you in Chris's stream, living room workbench. A bit morning, I think. Well, morning for me. All right, so I think we're back where we were a while ago. Need to get this guy measured out and tightened down at 37. Phew, yeah. Things went a little haywire for a second, but I think we're back. Funnily enough, this is right about at that square. Actually, that wide. Feels like I have everything pressed down. I'm going to take this endstop off. It feels like the extrusions aren't lining up. And if like it doesn't need to be on right now, I can throw it back on just anytime before we put something over this extrusion. So I'm going to take them off for the time being. See if we can put a That'll help us put the 1-2 block here. Measure it out. It seems like you've been enjoying better streams on building his trident. You in there quite a bit. How can I make sure that this is all perfect square and constrained in every degree of freedom? You guys can't see it, but basically this is like a little ball. Like these two extrusion pieces, this one is proud, but a little bit higher. Enjoy watching printer builds that you haven't seen before, so I assume you haven't seen anybody build a V0 yet. That is exactly 37 millimeters. Take our pretty Voron ruler, burn that. 35, 36, 37 millimeters on the dot. Let's do torque it down a little bit more. Make sure it doesn't move while we're doing other stuff. And then we'll get this side locked in at 37 millimeters as well. This side does feel like it's completely like squared up. Well, my fingers weren't so slippery. Like go and dry them off on my shirt and touch three things, they end up being oily. Alright, these in there. Nice and flush on this edge. Are you considering building a V0 at all? Maybe before you watch this? If you still are after. Renovic, if you're still there, what kind of printers do you have? I can't remember if I asked you that before. We've definitely got some printers. I have two Ender 3 Pros, okay. I have two regular Ender 3s, like the original ones. Bob, you've got no future plans besides 24 for now. Completely reasonable and understandable, and that have 17 printers planned to be built. It's the boat I find myself kind of falling into. I want to build everything. Now I'm going to try to get this nice and squared up. Strain it in as many directions as possible. Push there. Wait, who said 17 about what? Oh, I don't really have 17 plans. I was being hyperbolic. That's what you guys were referring to. But I mean, if I honestly counted them up, I want to build a trident, a 2.4, a salad fork, a switch wire. There's a lot I kind of see myself building. That makes sense. Whether or not I actually end up building them is another thing. I'm almost about to toss this whole organizer off. And so this is definitely a game of like getting stuff tight enough it'll kind of fit where you want it for a little while, and then you have to like put some stuff up, square it. It's a balancing game. Same thing for this guy. Squared up tight, point, down, head. You seen the dueling zero? That's a zero that's not an IDEX, but it has two print heads. Is that right? The printer for ants, it's just so nuts. I like that they just kind of like taken the idea of the coolest parts of Vorons and just kind of gone crazy with them. Alright, so let me tilt this up and get those reasonably tightened down. Look at the square, huh? So it's so an IDEX printer is a printer with two heads that can kind of do color changes, but a dueling IDEX is like one prints at it. It's weird. They're not on the same gantry, I guess, is the main difference. Two heads on the same x-axis, but are they on the same gantry? For IDEX, yeah, yes. Two on the same, kind of sharing a gantry. Found a photo of the Dueling Zero. It's pretty... I saw a different dueling printer a little while ago. That's on the verge of getting stripped out. Starts to get hard to remove like that. Oh, I found myself just redoing the same kind of parts. It's more of a complete rebuild. Like, I have enough trouble understanding the kinematics on a regular Core XY. You start adding extra gantries and stuff like that, and it goes way above my head. I'm sure, like, if I built one, I'd understand it a whole lot better. That is really funky. That's just not flush down here. What is going on? Getting triggered, guys. I'm sure you could do it with a Trident or a 2.4. You'd have so much more space, right? Guys, this is so weird. As I tighten down this joint, it literally pushes itself out of squareness. I think because this is just like torquing itself out of squareness as I'm like trying to tighten up the joint. They have us square everything more later. Heck. Am I worrying about how square this is like too early? 37 millimeters now. Hobby because I learn about something new every day. I feel like there's a new thing to learn every day, like literally new projects popping up all the freaking time. Like there's no end to the creativity people have in this hobby. Yeah, so this is like a random corner piece from a friend's kitchen set that they didn't end up using. That's why it's octagonal. So it's like where some joints were coming together, this is like a cutoff from that. Does that make sense? Oh no, that's another tripped out screw. Starting to get to me, guys. I'm not quite sure if my drivers just are ruining this extrusion or if it's something else. Mixing this guy up. Yeah, this screw is well and fully stripped. That's a bit frustrating. I'm not sure what to do. I mean, it's fairly square now at the very least, but Very finicky process. Very finicky. You can't even put the printer on this top side because the rails will push into the ground and it won't be square that way. It's a bit better. I'm not chatting a whole lot. Kind of scratching my head over it a little bit. Let's go back to the manual. We are here. Made sure that these are all 37 millimeters. That's actually a little off. Yeah, yeah. It's like a weird thing that can happen where tighten it and it'll pull itself out of alignment. If that makes sense. I just tightened it and it was like pulling itself that way. I guess that's the way the frame is unsquare. Okay, that is millimeters. Check these guys. That's a whole lot better. Still a little bit of rocking. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it with like the noise cancellation I have going on. This is also a little proud. Right here, this rail sticks up like 0.5 millimeter higher than this one. Definitely like an iterative process, going kind of back to stuff you already did, screwing it up and making it a bit better. Just a slightest bit of lift over here. I push down on this edge. side is a little bit, I just think, probably that's the one that, oh, that's loosening. Get back on the ground. Lock in there. Still square now. Yeah, it is looking a whole lot better. It's like put together, mostly tightened up, just a little off, a couple different. That's gonna be square. Pretty square that way. That way. Just this way, which is kind of the way that I feel matters the most. Off. Probably because these unsupported arms, you think? Let's get the preloading. Actually, we can put in the bottom chain. And 3x8 button head. That's for those. Feel like I might have spent a little bit too much time trying to get things square too early. If that makes sense. So you need to take this link out. First, it says button heads actually have a recess for flathead. What kind of flathead? 3x8 flat. You have a few. There. Get a couple of nuts on them. Thin, fat, greasy fingers kind of causing issues. And then we applied in. How far up was it? Close to flush. Okay. Dominoes. Bothering me so much. Not quite there yet. And we need our first acrylic bottom panel, which is this guy. And one thing I will say about apparently these are polycarbonate according to the listing, and it peels super easy. But instead of the kind of paper backing, it's got the white stuff on one side and then a clear one on the other side. Both sides seem to be glossy. I don't see any scratches on either side. Best, but I think like it'll matter much. Go ahead, do it. Now we take the guy and slide him in the extrude. Oh, there's a notch for the chain, cable chain, so that dictates which side it can go in. Like so. And it's loading time. So orient it how they have it in the picture. 4 on the bottom, 4 on the bottom, 3 on the side. Like really easy compared to the stuff Better was peeling off the other day. What was it? 3 on the side, 4 on the bottom, 4 on the bottom. So I don't know what the difference is in how they cut it. I doubt they're like redoing it, right? They're not gonna peel it and redo it. Are you guys working on anything as you watch? Or just kind of chilling out? Some people like to watch people build printers if they built their own printers. work on their printers. 1, 2. Chilling for now. I'm gonna hit the rack soon. Gotcha. Where are you in the world and/or United States? Wait, did you say Ohio in one of 3D Print SOS streams? Yeah. Got some family in Columbus. My uncle works for not the university, but I think the hospital. And then finally 4 more in the other bottom part. So I have family that live in Columbus, but they're originally from the Detroit area. So they kind of grew up Michigan fans, then ended up in OSU territory, like OSU capital. And I'm not sure there's a bigger rivalry in sports than OSU. They kind of converted. College football wasn't huge a sport for them, to be honest. I think he wears stuff, you know, when it's like game day and they allow you to wear Ohio State stuff. He will, but I just torqued that a little bit and it kind of. I think they're a little agnostic. They're not quite hardcore converted Buckeyes, but they're not. They're Wolverines. So on the top, now need 3 on each side. Also 3 on the outside. I was a bigger fan of pro sports growing up. My mom's she's a fan of sports, if that makes sense. She does have a couple favorite teams, but she just watches sports all the time. Like stuff that she's never even played or been all that interested in. She'll watch golf and tennis and curling. There's just almost always a sport on in our household. What up? Are you guys getting a lot of smoke and air quality issues in Ohio? My mom's in Arlington, Virginia, and they pretty hazy, and they've got like warnings about going outside there. I know it's super bad in New York. Talking about it yesterday in under stream. I played a lot of sports growing up. 74, I'm retired, so staying indoors and not venturing out into smoke sounds like a good idea. Alright, 3 here, 3 here, and then 3 on this outside. Match the 3 we just did on the other one. Crazy how something like a fire can impact the whole eastern seaboard the way it has. Cleaning carpets, spring house cleaning. I need to do a bit of that. Especially since I've been preparing for 3D printer builds. I've got pieces of 3D printer hardware sprawled all over the place. As I have guests over a ton, no. Just me. Enough for me to find stuff. Now we're going to take a V extrusion. B. A and B are pretty much, well, they are exactly the same. We're going to get an 8 button head, put the back in, 3x10 on the outside. Oh. We need to preload 4 in one of the sides. I'm starting to run out of preload set. Yeah, it is pretty much summer. I should know, my birthday's on the 16th, so as we approach my birthday, I know summer's upon us. Think of what I want to do for my birthday. I usually go see a movie, go to a brewery or something. Or you kind of get used to preloading these nuts. It gets faster after a while. My house is also in a bit of disarray because I had a significant flood a while back. We had a crazy snap cold spree in southwestern Virginia, that state of West Virginia. Like record lows, and the hot water supply to my dishwasher just froze and burst. And I was away, it was like right at Christmas time. Luckily I decided to kind of come back a little earlier than I had expected and came back to a house that was like mostly flooded. That wasn't. I gotta make sure these are on the bottom. I will be 39 on June 16th. A young pup. I'll take that. I remember I used to not really get offended, but I used to kind of scoff when people were like, "Oh, you're still young." I'm 25. I'm not young. Yeah, I was. As I approach 40, I'll take still a youngin. All right. To the next step. Last chance. So if we were looking at it from the top, oh no, this is the bottom view. Why did you have me put this up here? Turn it over at it. So we've got 4 here. 4, 4, 2. That all looks correct. Got it from the top. Got 233. That is correct. Look at it from the left. We have 3 on the bottom, none on the top. The right, 3 on the bottom, none on the top. The back. We have 1 here, 3 on each of the T-rails. I'm about to put my acrylic, and 2 on the bottom. Get back in there, please. And then from the front, that's 1 or 2. Yeah, 2 down there under the frame. Then if planning on installing Nevermore, I want to preload extra nuts at the top or a rail. Further than Nevermore document. So that's, I do kind of want to do a Nevermore, but I do also have these slide-in nuts, so I think I can leave those out for now. And we are about to close up the frame to the extrusion, of which there are only 2. Get this guy put back into place and drop this in here. I bet squaring all this up will help the whole frame get squared up quite a bit. French accent, tighten screws behind the accent. Bottom one, pretty flat. Top guy. Oh, did I do that? Wrong side facing. I did. The correct orientation needs to be this way. So you need a hole top and bottom. Then on the sides, a hole side, bottom. Be a very Asian inspired. Then 93. Honestly, the sport I watch the most at the moment right now is Formula 1 and a couple other types of motors. I got really big into sim racing. That kind of got me into watching more motorsport. Outside. You won't miss Jeopardy. That was another thing that was a staple in our house. Growing up, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, but Jeopardy is what we kind of all would kind of track our own points, play along. Very into the, I used to be very into the trivial knowledge kind of pursuit. Loved Trivial Pursuit. Loved Jeopardy. Used to like going to trivia a whole lot. I haven't been going as much. There's a tiny bit of rock. There's significantly more that way. You've continued to watch Jeopardy since Alex passed. And next will be the motor drive, so I think it would be a good time to just I'm gonna have to get my anodizing pen, aka Black Sharpie. Put that nick. Now I think I can actually get a better suit of squaring this up. For Ken, I like Ken a lot too. I remember when he made that original run. What was the question that he missed in his run? It was, I think it was about H&R Block, and it was like, this business, you know, grosses so much money, although it does primarily all of its business across like 3 months out of the year, which is like tax season. Turned out to be H&R Block. I think he missed it. I guess like FedEx, I think, because of like the Christmas. He really one of the first people I think that figured out really how to game the system. Like, he pretty much buzzed in for every single answer, took the full amount of time that he needed or was allowed to kind of make the consideration. He kind of changed how people played the game, I feel like. Now it's a lot more common for people to do that, but yeah, he would hunt around for the daily doubles and like go way out of order, which used to trigger me, to be honest. I was like, why is he going? You know, it's fun as a viewer to see people go down the path because the questions get progressively harder and you can kind of like get attuned to what the categories mean. You know, if it's like got a theme or something like that. But he would go out of order and just jump to where he kind of, oh man, yeah, he really learned how to game the system. Now a lot more of the people who have like been champions know how to do that, but what's proud of it? What? Extreme. I mean, that's starting to look like a printer, though. Liking the blue highlights. I was considering doing red, but I don't know, I feel like red is the default Voron color, so I won't blue. This is where I nicked a tiny bit, but time being, anodize that a little bit. And there'll hopefully be some printed parts right there that will cover that up, so we won't even notice that for a while. The sparkle ABS from any particular brand. I know Polymaker seems to be super popular. Building Voron. So I'm gonna have to spend some time getting this rock out. I don't know if you guys can see it. That slight bit of movement. I have a lot of inland ABS. I like inland because they had the spoolless spools. They were one of the first companies that I could easily order from off of like Amazon that had the spoolless. Where do I have some right now? It is tucked away or outside, but when I was printing a ton of PPE during the pandemic, I had like literally stacks of spools like shoulder high, and I was like, what the heck am I gonna do with this? So I ended up kind of getting rid of them. You know, I tried the stuff where you try to upcycle them and change them into like something that you can like store stuff in, and I used those for a while, but I found it took, like, in order to print enough compartments for like 3 spools, it took a whole nother spool of filament. So it was kind of this weird Yevon's paradox thing that was going on. And then I saw that they had the spoolless, and then I printed some spools and then used that throughout the pandemic. I'll definitely spend the time to correct the rocking. Not sure if I want to do it on stream. It's a little boring. I got a single roll of spoolless filament because they didn't have white PLA. But I appreciate it. I know a lot are going towards the cardboard. Like Polymaker has mostly cardboard from what I've seen. But then, you know, in some feed systems, they can get a little roughed up. So you have to get like the little runners to put on the side of them. Yeah, I hope more companies. I think Prusa just started offering the spoolless, like or some people call them refills. So you can kind of reuse the same Prusa one, because all you need is the cardboard center, right? Have a micro center about it. I'm so far away from micro center now. I grew up next to one in Fairfax, Virginia. There's one in Fairfax Circle, in Northern Virginia, and they didn't have any, of course they didn't have 3D printers and stuff back then, but they had like plenty of PC parts. And then I moved down here to Blacksburg, where I am now, and it's about a 4-hour drive to that one, and I think about another 3 hours to get to the one further south of here. All of the inland PLA with spools have cardboard now. Yes, yeah, they've moved away from plastic, which I really appreciate. They're so nice to be around. If you like building PCs, now they carry a ton of sim racing gear. I've got a bunch of sim racing stuff over to the side of me, and it's a great place to be for that kind of stuff. But I think that this is going to be a good place to call it. I could start getting into the AV motion system, which I think is the next step, but that's going to be a lot of heat set inserts, building stacks of stuff. So I think we'll leave that off and see if we can get the majority of the motion system done in a single stream. And that'll be fun. And then I think it will be the bed after that. Yeah, the DX is the bed. But I tried Aliexpress filament recently with one spool I tried. It gave me decent results. I just picked up 2 spools of Aliexpress black filament because it was like $13 on Amazon, and I just print a lot of stuff in black, so figured I'd give it a shot. Yeah, $12 per spool if it gives you decent results. For a little bit higher quality stuff, I've been using a lot of MatterHackers because they have free shipping. It ships in like 2 days and you actually earn rewards. So I also like to buy like my Hotends and stuff from them because they actually have pretty good prices. And so if you buy filament from them and you're getting like $1.50 reward for every spool of filament, you end up saving up enough to buy another spool like after about, I don't know, 10 spools or something like that. So kind of has a same kind of bulk deal. But I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you guys for dropping in, Bob and Renovic, and chatting for the whole night. You guys helped keep me entertained and sane when I was having trouble getting this frame put together. It's a little finicky. I think I spent a bit too much time trying to get it completely square, or it was like together, and I was just working against myself because so much of it was unsupported at that time. But now I have kind of the main frame kind of built. I'm sure it's going to be a lot easier for me to get squared up. So I'll do that off stream and then kind of go over the process of how I did it. No problem. Of course, if you would like to subscribe and or turn on notifications for streams, I'll always announce it in Steve and Modbot's Discord and their self-promotion channels. I'll also tweet it out. You can follow me on Twitter. I should have links in the description to get to all that stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Have fun in your own 3D printing pursuits. Hopefully, you know, your builds go well and your printers are all printing fine for the next foreseeable future. So I will see you guys in the next stream. Thanks. See ya.